We won't do this until you tell
Morning,
me to
Blair.
Good morning, Lord.
I think you could probably take that off. You voted already, haven't you?
I did vote. I was just keeping it on for expectation of calamity, but I could take it off for
Okay, all right. Oh, that's better.
now. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
So election's over. I mean,
Election's
it's
over.
almost over. Almost over.
Yeah. What about them Cubs?
Glad you brought that up because last week was a big week for Chicago.
Yeah, it was. I think we should have a
Coffee with Blair Sports Extra.
yeah. When you said when you sent me that picture of the bears in your backyard, I thought we were going to talk about them, but now I see now
No, we're talking about the Chicago Cubs.
the
I mean,
Chicago Cubs.
you're from Chicago.
I'm from Chicago.
I've spent many wonderful weekends when I was in school up at my uncle's tavern in Chicago. And the Cubs haven't won for 108 years. It was 1908 the last time they won a World Series.
It's pretty amazing.
And they won again in 2016. And what I heard on the internet news, and you know how one thing leads to the next, was that they could not win the World Series because of the curse of the billy goat. Did you ever hear of the curse of the billy goat before?
Not until you mentioned it, because I knew something was wrong. Ernie Banks every year would come to the microphone and say, "This is going to be our year. This is going to be our year. Nothing will stop us. This is going to be our year." And they went nowhere.
Okay.
My whole life, they never went anywhere until.
Well, let me tell you when the curse started.
Okay.
The curse started in 1945. The Cubs did play in the World Series in 1945. Yep, that's when it started.
Okay.
And in 1945, there was a tavern owner in Chicago, and he owned a tavern called the Billy Goat Tavern. William Cianis was his name.
Here's how to spell it. Cianis. It's Greek, isn't it?
Yes, it is Greek. I think he was a Greek immigrant, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Well, in the tavern, he had a goat for a mascot, which I don't know if you remember, but a lot of bars in those old days had some sort of an animal critter as a mascot.
Yeah.
Well, William Cianis took his goat, who was named Murphy, by the way, which was, I think, a smart move. You know,
Yeah,
if you're a Greek immigrant running a tavern in Chicago, might as well invite the Murphys too.
That's right. Murphys were a powerful group.
So, William Cianis, Billy, took his goat Murphy to the fourth game of the 1945 World Series. And Murphy, at that time, was a little bit older and started to smell.
Do you want to show the picture of young Murphy?
Yeah, show young Murphy having his first drink.
This is young Murphy there. And Mr. Cianis is on would that be the left side? I can't tell.
Yes, it would be. Well, he's the one that doesn't have the ears that stick up, but he also has a goatee.
Oh yeah, he's the other one with a goatee.
The other one with the goatee.
White shirt, goatee.
So there's Murphy as a young buck.
That's a nice picture of it.
It is. But he got older, and older goats tend to get smelly.
Yeah. You know, did you ever see the movie American Gigolo?
Blair, every time you ask me if I've seen a movie, I've never seen it.
Well, Richard Gere in that movie gets dressed to some music like Baby Duck or Baby Doll or something.
Right.
And he lays out all his clothes because he's getting ready to go out.
All
well,
right.
I have seen goats prepare for their night on the town with the ladies. And what they do, you don't want to be anywhere around.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Okay.
Yes, but the lady goats love it.
They swoon.
Apparently.
They swoon.
Yeah, they swoon. So it works for goats, but it doesn't work so good for people. Well, anyway, Murphy went to the ball, fourth game of the World Series at Wrigley Field before they had lights, and he stunk so bad he was asked to leave. Well, that made William Cianis pretty mad.
Yeah.
And what he said was, "Them Cubs ain't gonna win no more."
famous quote now.
It's a famous quote.
I just learned it. Them Cubs ain't gonna win no more.
According to his family, he actually even sent a telegram to the Cubs manager, and the telegram said, well, now I'm going to have to read it.
Okay.
You're not going to win this World Series, and you will never win because you insulted my goat.
Exactly.
So that's basically the story of the curse of the Billy Goat. And we, to this
So
day,
that's
we don't know what broke the curse, but the Cubs definitely came out ahead.
this is a picture of elderly Murphy and Billy, and he's taking a drink. He's still drinking after all these years.
Billy looks a little elderly too.
Billy looks elderly. Still has his goatee.
Okay.
I'll try not to flip this too much. But you know what? This just shows you. I don't know if you had the same trouble, but all of my life, I was born in 1948, 3 years after the curse started.
Oh yeah. I was born in '46, which is after the curse started.
Right after the curse, and all my life I've known that something has been wrong, and that I didn't realize till now that it was because I lived my whole life under the Billy Goat curse.
Oh my gosh.
And now I feel utterly relieved. I've spent thousands of dollars on psychiatrists. I knew something was wrong. I
Yeah.
took psychotropic drugs because I felt under a cloud. And now I know what it was.
Well, that's good.
And it's broken.
That's good. You're
It's
gonna
like
feel
I'm born,
great.
I'm born again.
Okay, you'll feel
Yeah.
great from now on.
Released.
It's like reading the I Ching for the first time.
Yes,
So
everything is.
My mind is clear.
Oh.
Thank you.
You're
I had no
welcome.
idea about this goat curse.
Well, I think we've covered the story pretty well. If there's any questions,
Yeah,
people
please
can always
They can always
comment.
comment on it. But this has been a most revelatory moment for me.
Revelatory. Oh, that's a pretty big word. But
It's not
you're good at
French,
that.
though. It's not French.
No, it's not French.
Okay.
What do you think, Edie?
Time for you to go home, Blair.
Okay. Well,
Time.
I'm going to go home, but I'm going to keep this in case I have to watch the results tonight. I may have to put this on again when I hear what happens after the voting.
You'll be watching the results for the next
2 months.
12 years.
Yeah, that's true.
All right.
Okay. Well, at least I've got two in case one fails. I got two.
All right. Well, I'm going to say good night.
Good night, all.